A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Jerry, at Fair Oaks.
Another glass of water, please, Jerry.
Oh, good night. I certainly wish another cadet would come to Fair Oaks and sit at this table so he could be water corporal.
But there isn't another new cadet at Fair Oaks, so you're still the water corporal.
You're telling me. Cadet Phillips, here's your water. Don't make it last for the rest of the meal, will you?
This meat makes me thirsty.
You shouldn't eat meat. Yeah, I wonder what Captain Bogart and Major Davis are so busy about at the staff table.
I don't know. They've been laughing and talking all through the meal.
I saw them figuring something out on paper a minute ago. Then Captain Bogart started to count all the cadets here in mess.
Maybe somebody's missing.
You would think of something like that. No, I don't think it's anything like that. They wouldn't be laughing about it.
Sherlock Dugan, huh? Okay, what's your guess?
I don't know. I guess I haven't got a guess. Say, look at Red Morrison eating by himself.
Yeah. You know, Jerry, I feel kind of sorry for Red. The chill's been put on him now ever since he played that mean trick.
Boy, I know just how he feels then. I had the chill on me once, and believe me, it's no fun.
Gee, we've almost forgotten about poor Harold. Seems funny to have his place vacant at the table. Poor kid.
Well, we'll go up to our room after study hall and see if we can get anything about his father on the 8 o'clock news.
Men, attention! Thank you. Men, Major Davis and I have a surprise for all of you.
A surprise?
You know that here at Fair Oaks, it's not all work and no play. So we've decided to inaugurate something new and different. A treasure hunt.
Treasure hunt?
Sounds swell. Leave it to Captain Bogart to think of something great. He's always doing that.
Now, we want this treasure hunt to be a lot of fun, and at the same time be a lesson in tactical maneuvering. If that sounds a little complicated, I assure you it'll be just as much fun. Perhaps a thrill for those of you who have never engaged in one. Major Davis and I have a list of all the cadets at Fair Oaks. Some of you have been picked for various teams, athletic teams, I mean, and some of you haven't, through no fault of your own, of course. We've decided that this treasure hunt will be something everyone may engage in, from the newest plebes to the seniors. Major Davis and I have divided the entire academy into two groups, each group composed of both upper and lower classmen. One team will be headed by Cadet Captain Lockhart, and the other by Cadet Captain Radford. Now, as to the rules of the treasure hunt, they will be given to your captains after mess is dismissed. The names of the men on the two teams will be posted on the bulletin board immediately. That's about all I can say about the event now, but I can promise you a lot of fun, and more than a fair share of thrills and excitement. There will be no study hall this evening due to the fact that the staff officers will be formulating the rules of the treasure hunt.
Oh, boy!
Each cadet, however, is expected to stay within bounds and study in his own room. Now stand at attention for the singing of our alma mater.
Hail to thee, blue and gold, we sing thy praise. Proudly thy banner floats above as we proclaim our loyalty and loyal to thee. We our voices raise, our colors bold. Hail then to fair oaks and the blue and the gold.
Hey, let's hurry to the bulletin board and see which team we're on.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Hey, did you ever go on a treasure hunt, Jerry?
What's it like, Lee?
Well, the two teams try to get to the place where the treasure's hidden. You try to capture men from the opposing team, and you've got to dig out clues as to where the treasure's hidden.
Well, gosh, the thing might be any place.
No, it's always within a certain boundary.
No, I get it. Well, come on, let's get to the bulletin board before the whole school has the same idea.
Take it easy. The whole school has the same idea already. Everyone's going to the board.
Hey, does Captain Bogart always think up swell ideas like this?
Yeah. He's a sort of game director. And they're not just kids' games, either. Some of them are pretty tough to play. You can bet your uniform that when Captain Bogart says there'll be excitement and thrills, there will be.
Guess there won't be much work done tomorrow. Everybody will be so excited.
And don't kid yourself about that, either. It won't be all play and no work tomorrow.
Hey, look at the mob around the bulletin board.
Yeah, it's like we'll have to push our way through.
Hey, see if you can get a look over the heads of the others.
Nope, can't do it. We'll have to push closer.
Hey, here, this way. We can see from here.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see now. Hey, look, they made the two teams, the blue team and the gold team.
Say, we're liable to be placed on different teams.
I hope not. I can't see my name yet.
Well, here's mine on the gold team. You see yours yet?
No, let's see. Manners, Burling, Stimson. Yeah, here it is.
Oh.
Dugan, Cadet Jerry Dugan.
Well, which team, the blue or the gold?
Oh, hot dog, I'm on the gold team, too.
Oh, swell. Yeah, that's a good thing for you, Jerry. Having me on the same team you're on, I mean. I know you like to win, so I'd hate to have you have a good man like I am on the other team.
You're not conceited by any chance, are you?
I was just kidding.
I hope so.
Hey, we almost forgot. The news broadcast.
Oh, that isn't till 8 o'clock.
Well, we'll catch the earlier one. Come on, let's step on it.
Okay, let's go.
Hey, look. There's Red Morrison over there talking with Captain Bogart.
Man, now. He looks like he's got a lot to say.
Yeah, he seems to be pretty earnest about it.
Boy, it must be awful tough to have to stick in quarters all the time, never allowed off the grounds, and never taking part in anything at all.
Mm-hmm. Just like solitary confinement. But he had it coming to him.
Yeah, well, I can feel sorry for him.
Oh, sure, I can too, for that matter.
Hey, Lee, Jerry, wait for me, will you?
Oh, hi,
hello,
Tubby.
Didn't think you'd be able to run that fast after putting away all that food.
My appetite is barely satisfied, gentlemen. Barely satisfied. You see, I burn up a lot of energy during the day, and I have to do something to put it back.
Seems to me you burn a lot of it eating like you do. You know, I saw a steam shovel once that didn't have anything on you.
It had everything I had but brains.
Jerry, did you say something about me being conceited?
Oh, Tubby takes the trophy.
Not conceit, gentlemen. Just self-confidence.
Oh, an answer for everything, huh?
That's the truth.
Speaking of brains, you two fellas are certainly lucky.
What are you talking about now?
Well, you're going to have the honor of having me on the same team.
Ooh.
I'm on the gold one, too.
Well.
Say, Lee, do you think there's any way we could change to the blue team?
Well, we'll speak to Major Davis.
Is that so? I'll have you know that I'm known in some circles as the Boy Napoleon, the little wonder of the field.
I give up.
Captain Lockhart's our captain. They just posted it.
Oh, boy, that's swell.
Say, I wonder what the bounds of the hunt will be. They've certainly got enough room to make the boundaries big enough.
They might put the treasure out on Woodman's Island.
Say, that's a good idea.
Oh, wait a minute. You'd have every cadet in the school trying to get hold of a boat. And then there'd be plenty of wet uniforms and a lot of cold. Nope, I don't think they'll put it on the lake.
Well, I'll bet it's near the lake. Captain Bogart promised us some excitement and thrills, and going along that lake shore at night is my idea of excitement.
Yeah, mine too.
Gee, it'll be pretty dark, won't it?
Oh, there'll be a moon. There's one tonight.
Moonlight isn't very bright, is it?
Well, sometimes it's so thin you can't see by it.
Say, Lee, don't all the little animals, bats and things, don't they come out at night?
Oh, yeah, the woods around here are full of them.
Bats?
Sure. Along the lake shore.
You know, I got fired for demerits again today for chewing gum. maybe I better stay in tomorrow night and work 'em off.
Oh, no, Tubby. No, I'm sure we wouldn't want a little Napoleon to miss all the fun.
Oh, of course not. One of the teams has got to have brains.
Mm-hmm.
Well. Oh, you fellas.
Oh, we're just kidding you, Tubby.
Sure, don't worry about the bats.
Who's worrying about bats? I'm worrying about the 5 Chimeras.
For the first time in your life.
Yeah. Come on with us, Tubby. We're going to our room to listen to the news.
We thought we might be able to hear something about Harold's dad.
Okay, I'll go along. Say, what do you think will happen to him?
Well, we don't know, Tubby. Nothing, we hope.
Well, here we are.
Hit the light, Jerry.
Okay.
I'll turn the radio on. Just about time for the news, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just about time for it.
Oh, he's off again.
Hey, listen, if you're going to do nothing but sneeze, we'll run you out.
Whoops. Sorry.
You always have to...
Today, the count stood 10-1. Meanwhile, a government inquiry board went ahead with their investigation of the crash of the huge bomber, which was being tested by Guy Linwell. Hospital doctors reported Linwell's condition as still serious, but that the famous test pilot was definitely out of danger. Questioning of Linwell by the Board of Inquiry has been postponed until the pilot is well enough to attend the board's meetings, which may be a month. And today, in financial
I guess
circles,
that's all about Harold's
the
dad.
business was definitely on the...
Why are they going to question Harold's dad?
Well, it's hard telling, Tubby. They must have found something.
Yeah, they sure don't hold those board inquiries for nothing.
You know...
Uh-oh, company. Who could be calling at this hour of the night?
No, get it, Lee.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we thought it was company, but it's rats.
Hold it, Tubby. Come on in, Red.
Thanks. You won't get in trouble by letting me in. I got permission to apologize to you, Jerry.
Yeah. Oh, that's all right, Red.
It isn't all right. I guess I made a pretty good fool of myself.
No, you didn't. You were before.
Keep still, Tubby.
Well, let him go on. I guess I made enough dirty cracks to get some back.
Well, sit down, Red.
Thanks.
What do you think of the treasure hunt, Red?
Swell. Great idea. You fellows should have a lot of fun.
Sure, we aim to.
I asked Colt and Captain Bogart whether I could go.
Yeah? Oh, what'd he say?
What do you think he said? I can't go. I'll be the only cadet here at Fair Oaks. The rest of you will be out having a good time.
Well, after all, Red, it's only a treasure hunt. I mean...
But what a treasure hunt.
Oh, gee,
boy.
Tubby, cut it out.
You want some candy, Red?
No, thanks. Well, I'll be running along now. I just dropped by to apologize to you, Jerry. I guess I caused you a lot of trouble. You're a good detective, Lee.
Well, I'd have done the same thing for you, Red, if I thought you weren't guilty.
I guess you would. Well, have a good time tomorrow night. Well, I'm going to do something about it.
Gee, what do you mean by that?
I don't know, but, gee, it sure sounded like he meant it.
countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1. Tonight's story, Requiem, by Robert Heinlein. On a high hill in Samoa, there is a grave. Inscribed on the marker are these words:
Under the wide and starry sky, dig my grave and let me lie. Gladly did I live and gladly die, and I lay me down with a will. This be the verse you grave for me. Here he lies where he longed to be. Home is the sailor, home from the sea, and the hunter, home from the hill.
These lines appear another place, scrawled on a shipping tag from a compressed air container, and pinned to the ground with a knife. It wasn't much of a fair, as fairs go. The trotting races wouldn't be held till 8 o'clock at night. The flags and bunting drooped in the gray afternoon, and the pitchmen seemed discouraged. A large black limousine stood at the side of the road, 32 cylinders purring quietly. And over the dust and the clatter of the fair, a bullhorn blasted the highest pitch.
Hurry, 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 this way to the moon rocket, the moon rocket. See it fly, the actual type rocket used by the first man to see it fly. Chills, thrills, the romance of space. You can ride in it for only $25. Hurry, hurry, hurry.
Hey, Charlie, have you got that feed tube patched?
I welded it. Good for maybe an hour.
What a crowd. They wouldn't risk a nickel to see the sun blow up.
Oh, Captain, excuse me,
Yeah?
Captain.
Oh, yes, sir. 50 cents to inspect the rocket. One?
Could you take a passenger this trip?
You mean you want to go up? $25.
That's right.
Yes, sir, right away. Charlie, take the pitch. Step this way, sir. Look out for the feed lines.
Oh, yes, I see them.
Hey, Doc. Passenger for a checkup.
Okay, Mac.
Well, is this necessary?
Regulations.
Take off your coat, open your shirt, roll up your right sleeve.
All right.
How are things, Mac?
Slow. We're not drawing as much as the cooch tent.
They'll pick up tonight with the trotters.
I'm ready, Doctor.
All right, give me your arm. All right, breathe in. Breathe. Breathe. Sorry, Mac.
No go, Doc?
Cardiac condition I couldn't certify. I'm sorry.
You mean you won't take me up?
He's the doctor.
Well, I rather expected it.
Sorry. Between you and me, we could have used the 25.
Excuse me, Captain.
Yeah?
Could you and your engineer have dinner with me after your flight?
Dinner?
At my home. My car's over there.
That's your car? The limousine?
That's right.
You serious, Mac? You want Charlie and me for dinner?
Of course.
Okay. Okay. Don't see why not? Thanks. Charlie, you had enough.
Lay off, Mac.
Oh, that's perfectly all right, Captain McIntyre. Cigar?
Thanks.
Light?
Yeah, thanks.
Yes, it's hard for me to see why any holder of a master's ticket would quit the Earth-Moon run.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, don't hand us that. It was Rugy washed you out.
All right, so I took a few drinks.
Tell me, gentlemen, are you satisfied with what you're doing now?
Are you kidding? We've been pushing the old junk heap for a year. Half the time, the sheriff has an attachment on the ship for a fuel bill. It stinks.
Would it help you to get back to the moon?
Well, sure. I could get a short-haul job hopping ore. I kept my nose clean. I might even get back on the run.
Would you be open to a business proposition?
What is it?
You own your own rocket?
Barring a couple of liens against it.
I want to charter her to take me to the moon.
You hear what he said, Mac? He wants us to fly that old heap to the moon.
He can't do it. The old boat's worn out.
Why don't you charter a regular company ship?
Oh, no, I can't do that. The company charter comes up before a congressional committee this year. They have to follow the regulations.
You can't pass the physical. Now, if you can afford to hire us, why don't you bribe a couple of company medics? It's been done before.
I know, but not for me. I'm D. Harriman.
Harriman?
You own the company. Hey, what are you giving us?
I own a large percentage of the company, but the other directors won't permit me to jeopardize the franchise.
You tie that, Mac. A guy with half the money in the world, and he's up a creek.
Shut up, Charlie. Why do you want to go to the moon so bad, Mr. Harriman?
Well, it's the one thing I've really wanted to do all my life. I'm maybe 50 years older than you. When I was a kid, nobody believed we'd really reached the moon. You've seen rockets all your lives. When I was a boy, they laughed at the idea, but I believed. I wanted the moon then. I used to stand in the backyard and stare at it.
How far away is it, Mom?
The moon? Far enough.
Why don't people fly to the moon?
They can't.
Why not?
They just can't. But not now, anyway.
Someday I will.
What?
Fly to the moon.
Sure. Now, come on, Belle. Inside. Way past your bedtime.
There wasn't enough money for college, so I worked. Stock boy at the old Ford plant in Detroit. Accountant, credit manager for a mail order house. Then New York and Wall Street. And then transportation. The monorail line between New York and Chicago. The Atlantic Pressure Tunnel. And then Harriman rockets.
Dell, I want to talk to you.
I'm working, Charlotte.
You talk to me now, Dell, or you may not get another chance.
What is it?
Fred Lott was in. You've sold out again.
I run the business, Charlotte.
Dell, I'm fed up with it. Up to here. I married you because I love you. I still love you, but I'm fed up.
Now, what is it, Charlotte?
We're not young anymore. Fred tells me you've bought into a bankrupt engineering firm. Sunk every nickel in it.
Well, they own the Schwarzmiller fuel injector patents. I need them.
How many times do we have to start over? I'm tired. I'm not asking for millions. Just a little life for the two of us.
I didn't know about the divorce for a month. I lost the papers under a stack of blueprints and stock prospectus. That night I walked through the park, watching the full moon move across the sky. My old friend. I could recognize the wrinkles. Crisium, Mare fecundatus, Mare twinkulatus, the lunar Apennines. It took 2 fraudulent bankruptcies and an investigation by the Securities and Exchange Commission before we did it. The moon. There were 3 injunctions on the rocket before it blasted off. I was going on the second trip, but my considerate board served a court order on me.
You can't go down.
Fred, I'll break you if it's the last thing I do.
Dell, you've got a bad heart. That's no secret.
Oh.
If you die out there, the whole card house comes down. Now, we've got an equity in this corporation. We're going to see it protected. You've sucked us in on this wild scheme, and now that it paid off, you're going to sit right down here on Earth and see that the dividends come out on time. You're not going to the moon, Dell. Forget it.
I never went. By the time my lawyers shook off the restraining orders, the first cargo rocket had crashed in the Pacific, and Congress rushed through the space precautionary act. My heart kept earthbound, and now I'm old. I've lived longer than I should, but I would not let myself die. I will not until I have set foot on the moon. There, Captain McIntyre, you asked why I wanted to go to the moon. Well?
You find the ship, Mr. Harriman, and I'll drive her. You'll hit the moon.
All right. Then we can get down to business. I'll have contracts drawn up for you. You, too, will have to buy me a ship. I can't do it openly, of course. My dear board of directors would find out and slap a court order on me.
Well, we can't get credit.
Oh, don't worry. I'll supply the cash in advance. Pick some ship that can be fitted for the jump. A Strato yacht, Apply for a Strato license. Then after it's issued, you move to a piece of desert. I'll find a strip and buy it.
You mean fit her out there?
Yes. We'll install extra fuel tanks, change the injectors and timers for space flight.
Charlie, you think you can manage the changeover without a dockyard and shops?
Well, I'll have to have a load of power tools and a lot of time. It'll be haywired and spot welded.
Just so it doesn't blow up when I slap the key.
It won't blow.
Well, that's what you said about the last ship.
Now, cut it out, will you? I ask you, Mr. Harriman, that last ship was a junk heap and we knew it. Now, this'll be different. We're going to spend some dough and do it right. Ain't we, Mr. Harriman?
You spend all the money you want. I'll see that you get it.
$132 shares of Apex Holding at 60% of par.
Check.
52 preferred of Space Race Fuel, 50% off par.
Check.
That's the list. Oh, Mr. Harriman, there's a process server outside.
Yeah? What is it?
I don't know, sir, but I think it's a subpoena.
Oh, I was expecting that. Ashley, get Mr. Kamens on the phone. I think it's time for my lawyer.
May it please Your Honor, counsel representing Mr. Harriman's relatives contend that his behavior for the past few weeks gives clear indication that a mind brilliant in the world of finance has become senile. They petition you to declare him incompetent and to assign a conservator to protect his financial interests and those of his heirs. May I suggest that in the last few words my opponent gave away his entire thesis. It is evident that the petitioners believe that my client should conduct his affairs in such a way as to ensure that his nephews, nieces, and their issue will be supported in unearned luxury for the rest of their lives. Therefore, we pray this court will confirm my client in his right to do what he likes with his own. Deny this petition and send these meddlers about their business.
Well, Kamens,
It could go either way.
He might rule against me?
He might. We'll know tomorrow.
Here it is. Eccentric millionaire disappears.
Yes.
You eccentric, Mr. Harriman?
Well, they used to call me crazy, but that depends on your credit rating.
A bench warrant under contempt proceedings has been issued.
They won't find me out here. How is the work going, Charlie?
My end's in pretty good shape.
Well, are you ready to go? My nephews will have detectives out looking for me.
Well, I could run those calibration tests tonight. Take till midnight. After that, it's up to the Commodore here.
There she is, Mr. Harriman. That's the job that'll take you to the moon.
It's a good ship, isn't it?
Hey, Mac, stop the car.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, he's out?
Look at him. Where's his medicine?
Vest pocket. Here. Break the glass. Hold around his nose.
He looks lousy.
Yeah. There. He's breathing easy. Come around soon.
Mac, we ain't going through with this.
Why not?
It's murder. He'll never stand up under the initial acceleration.
Maybe not, but that's what he wants to do. You heard him.
I don't like it. He's an okay old buzzard.
What do you want to do with him? Send him back to Kansas City so his no-good nephews can shut him up in the cellar?
No, but...
Okay, then. Now get out there and make your set up for those test runs. Get that ship ready to fly.
Hey, you.
Me?
How many other people are there out in this desert?
What can I do for you?
You James McIntyre?
Hey, Mac.
What's the matter, Charlie?
You McIntyre?
Yeah.
I'm the deputy federal marshal in this district. I got a warrant for your arrest.
What charge?
Conspiracy to violate the Space Precautionary Act. I suppose you're Charles Schwartz. I got one for you, too.
Thanks.
And a man named Harriman. Got a court order to put seals on your spaceship.
We haven't got any spaceship.
What's that, a kiddie car?
Strato yacht.
Yeah? Well, I'll put seals in until a spaceship shows up. Where's Harriman?
In the shed.
What shed?
Oh, my knuckle. That's the one I broke playing football. I'm always hurting that finger.
We gotta hurry. Get Papa to the cabin and strap him into his hammock.
Right. So long, Deputy. Oh, my knuckle.
She's warm, Charlie. Everything set back there?
How do I know? I didn't have time to run tests.
Tough. You all right, Mr. Harriman?
I think so, but these straps are tight.
Have to be when we blast off. All set, Charlie. Give me control.
Check. Test keys.
1 bank.
Check.
2 bank.
There's an auxiliary out.
We don't need it. All right, boy, hang on. Let's go.
How are you, Pop? I'm doing fine. Couldn't be better.
You better stay in your hammock. I'll loosen the straps a little. What is it?
Nothing. Just go easy on that side.
You ain't fooling me none, Pop. We got a couple of busted ribs. There isn't much I can do till we ground. You take a neobaritol, and I'll wake you when we cut jets.
No, I'll stay awake.
Okay, just as you say, Pop. She's on automatic, Charlie. How are the tubes holding up?
Fine, tight as a drum.
She handles nice.
How's Pop?
Alive. But he's in bad shape.
How bad?
Cracked a couple of ribs in the takeoff. I don't know what else.
You think he'll last the trip?
His heart was pounding like an off-time valve.
Well, he'll last. He's tough.
Tough. He's delicate as a canary.
I don't mean that. He's tough down inside where it counts. Just the same, you better set her down awful easy if you want him alive.
I'll make a full swing around the moon and ease her in an involute approach curve. It'll go fine if we got enough fuel.
Somebody call me?
Nothing wrong, Pop?
Thought somebody was calling me. But it's been asleep.
I swung your hammock around. We're breaking now. There she is ahead.
The moon. I've seen 1,000 photographs. There. That's Copernicus. Tycho.
You know it all right, Pop.
Where are you landing?
Mare Imbrium between Aristillus and Archimedes.
Oh, that's about 40 miles from Luna City, isn't it?
Yeah.
It won't be easy landing without ground approach radar, will it?
I've done it before.
Not without a second pilot to punch the centimeter.
You ought to have a mate's ticket, Pop. You know the whole routine. You must have really studied up.
Yes, that's all I could do, study until now. Oh, look at the moon. I feel as if I'm coming home.
Yeah. Charlie.
Yo.
I'm taking her in. Cut in full power.
Make it good, Mac. Pop can't take a rough one.
Shut up and give me the power. I'll do my best. Okay. Statometer setting punch. Hang on. Here we go.
That was a lousy landing, Mac.
Statometer drift.
How's our passenger?
Quiet. Now look.
I wouldn't make any bets. That landing stunk.
You shut up. I did my best. Hey, Pop.
He's alive. There's blood in his mouth.
He's trying to say something. Take it easy, Pop. We're down.
Oh, where?
Take it easy.
Vacuum suits. Where are they?
Steady, Pop. You can't go out there yet. We've got to give you some first aid.
Give me that suit.
What do you think, Mac?
Might as well. Get the suit out of the locker. Yeah, we'll use the big one. Be more comfortable.
Okay. Hurry. Okay, Pop. Easy now.
Hurry. Pull it up. Seal these zippers, Charlie. Take it easy. All right. The helmet. Air diaphragm set?
Check.
Air valve?
Set.
Lift it on him.
Don't hit him.
There. All right. Come on, Charlie. Get into your suit, and we'll carry him out the back. Easy with him.
Okay. You all right, Pop?
Outside. Take me outside.
Left leg is gone. Get your shoulder under it.
Right. Open the lock.
All right, Pop. Come on. We're going out on the moon.
The moon.
All right. I'm going to leave you out here to look around while we get ready for the hike to town. You all right?
The moon.
We have to break out air bottles and rig a stretcher. It's 40 miles into the dome. Charlie, prop something behind his head.
Okay. You comfortable, Pop?
We'll be back soon.
Moon. I can feel the pumice dust. And it doesn't hurt anymore. Why, there's the earth overhead. The earth in the sky and green blue. I'm on the moon. I'm on the moon.
Del?
Charlotte? I thought I heard somebody call my name. Yeah, I'm getting old. My mind wanders.
Del?
Charlotte.
Del?
That is you, isn't it? I made it, Charlotte. I'm on the moon. You didn't understand. You were afraid I wouldn't take care of myself. But I made it. I'm on the moon.
Del?
I'm on the moon.
Come on, Charlie. We better get Pop going. Here, give me a hand getting him on the stretcher.
Never mind the stretcher, Mac.
What's the matter?
He won't need it. He's dead.
Oh. Better get out the pumice skis and the air bottles. It's a long walk to town.
Yeah. What about him?
Looks as if he's resting, doesn't he? Propped up, looking out on the pumice.
Well, he hit the moon. Come on. Let's start walking.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
When Jerry released a homing pigeon with a message to Johnson on the rescue boat, it was stopped by gas in the fog ring surrounding the island. G47 is now working on the formula taken from the message. The formula he believes to be Captain Tex Bradford's universal solvent. The other pigeon has been covered with magnetic paint to make it impossible for him to fly through the fog around the island. It is daylight, and as there is no chance of planning anything further toward their escape or rescue until dark, Mrs. Gregory and Captain Bradford are working in the chart room of the yacht, while Joan takes Jerry on a tour of the Magic Island.
Now, Jerry, you must do just as I tell you and do not touch anything without permission.
This is going to be some sightseeing tour. Like letting two of the prisoners in jail go around and look at the other prisoners.
You're supposed to be a clever boy, Jerry.
Supposed to be? I am clever.
Then if you are, you should appreciate the opportunity of going through some of the laboratories and control chambers on the island, and perhaps observing something which will facilitate our ultimate plan of escape.
Hey, look, why don't you learn to talk English? All those big words are just a waste of time, and besides, I'm too busy for that.
You would find the larger words more expressive, Jerry, if you would only learn to employ them more frequently.
Okay. Well, where do we start looking at all this stuff? We've been all over this island now, and I haven't seen anything but these little steel houses on top.
We are nearly to the general elevator shaft entrance. I will take you down into the subterranean observation chambers.
Well, take me where something makes a little noise, will you? This walking around on concrete that sounds like carpet is getting on my nerves.
There are not many places on the island where you will hear noise, Jerry. It is made silent deliberately and has proven the best method of protection yet discovered.
I don't see how.
Anything foreign to the island and its people, any boat, device, or method of communication which has any sound, is recorded instantly. While if there were local noises, it would be difficult to distinguish sounds emanating from an outside influence.
Never mind. I'll figure out the next one myself.
Here we are, Jerry.
Here we are where?
At the elevator entrance.
Well, maybe you're right. But I can't see anything except this little platform of steel on the floor of the island.
That is the elevator.
Gee whiz.
Cleostra at the main elevator shaft. Cleostra at the main elevator shaft.
Hey, what is this? Your name's Joan now. Cut out that Cleostra stuff.
I am called Cleostra here on Euclidia, and it is the only name they will ever recognize.
Oh, all right. But what was that hocus-pocus you started to recite?
When I identified myself, my voice was recorded in the main control chamber in the center of the island. One of the guards looked out to see if it was really I, saw you with me, communicated with G47, secured his permission to allow you to enter, and started the machinery which is raising the top of the elevator shaft.
Oh, there wasn't time enough for all that to happen.
When you have been longer on Euclidia, you will learn the reason the Euclideans speak of time in seconds. Minutes are too long for the speed and accuracy of things on this island.
Everything on this island is nutty. Boy, look at that thing come up out of the island. It's pretty near as tall as we are now.
It will soon be ready to enter.
But say, when I ran after those fellows who went down inside the island when they thought someone was escaping, that was a regular building. It stuck up out of the island all the time. We didn't have to wait for it to grow like this thing is doing.
That was the elevator in the control chamber. Only the trusted members of the scientist group are allowed to use that.
Then why didn't they stop me when I tagged along with them?
Doubtless they thought you would foolishly say something or do something that would be of use to them. Remember, these men want very badly something that Captain Bradford, and only Captain Bradford, has.
Keep quiet. If they heard you asking for this elevator, they can hear all we can say now.
Certainly they can, but we will talk about nothing that is not already known. Now the chamber has stopped rising. We may enter.
Okay, but that wall looks kind of solid to me.
It is opening now.
How's that thing run? Compressed air?
No, Jerry. All elevators on the island are run and controlled by electromagnets.
Gee, a magnet strong enough to lift that elevator?
Were not the magnets strong enough to pull my mother's large yacht to the island?
That's right. Boy, what a place.
Now we will enter.
Hooray! Something makes noise. Boy, I'm going to stay in this elevator just so I can hear the noise of our feet.
Stop that, Jerry. The Euclideans will not like it. The vibrations will be so heavy they will overload the delicate recording instrument.
Anyhow, I found a place I can come to for a little noise when the quiet on the rest of this island drives me crazy.
Now we will descend. To what floor would you like to go?
Make it easy on yourself, kid.
Jerry, I do not know what you mean.
I'm sorry. What I meant to say was, it will be my pleasure to leave the choice of points of interest on this tour completely in your hands.
Why, Jerry, you can speak properly when you want to.
Oh, I can do a lot of things that I don't show off about all the time. Well, let's get going.
I think you would enjoy seeing the submarine locks. We will go down to the 5th level, 50 feet below the ceiling of the island. You may press the indicator button there, the numeral 5.
Okay, it's pushed. Boy, this is slick. The door is closing all by itself.
Nearly everything on the island is automatic.
Now we're starting down. This sure runs nice and smooth. What happened? We've stopped.
Only for a moment. That is a check on the 10-foot level.
And that happens on every floor, every level?
On this elevator, yes. Some of the private elevators of the scientists and the escape elevators will drop rapidly and continuously. But this one...
That's the 2nd level, huh?
Yes. Now it will release again. You see? This elevator is made so it may only be run one floor at a time, as it is in general use by everyone on the island and can easily be stopped at each floor from the control chambers in the event of escape.
There it is again, the third level now. But I don't see how all this is done by magnets. Of course, I can feel them take hold and then let go of the car, like that one just then let go. But how do they pull it up and control it all by magnets?
They employ both types of electromagnets. The tractive is used to move the car through the shaft, and the portative to hold and release it at the various levels.
You sure learned a lot from these guys. Now we're at the fourth level. The next one will be ours, huh?
Yes, the car will automatically stop and the door open at the fifth level.
I wish Captain Bradford and your mother could see all this.
Oh, they will. I wanted them to come with us today, but Mother and the captain had something to work on in the chart room of the yacht, and I think they wanted to be alone while working it out.
Gee, we're at the fifth level now. And this is 50 feet below the top of the water? 50 feet below sea level?
Hardly that, Jerry. At high tide, the surface of the island is well above the water level. Remember that you stepped from the deck of the yacht directly onto the island pier.
Oh, sure, that's right. But we're 50 feet below the top of the island, and maybe 40 feet below water level?
That is right, Jerry. Now, when this door opens, I will take you on an inspection tour of the island submarine locks. This is the level at which they are anchored.
And you can get into the subs down here in more than 6 fathoms of water?
Naturally. G47 has always said it was very stupid to call a boat a submarine when it had to be loaded on the surface. These boats have never been on the surface.
Oh, where do they build them then?
On this level. You will see one under construction when we... Well, that is strange. The door should be opening now.
Well, maybe we're supposed to push something to make it open.
No, it will open automatically or not at all. I've never seen it take this long.
Something's wrong with it then. What'll happen if I try to open it?
Nothing. You will simply not be able to open it.
Well, I'm going to try anyhow. No, nothing doing. Well, this is your party. Where do we go from here?
It must be that something secret is being done on this level and the door checks are set. Push the indicators for one of the other levels. We will go there for the time.
Okay. I'll try number 6. There we are.
On the 6th level, you will see the... Jerry, something is very wrong here. The car does not move.
By Ginger, you're right. We're stuck. I guess their electricity has failed them.
Jerry, that thumping noise. This car is going to be held here.
What do you mean? What's that noise?
Those are the permanent magnets being set into place to hold this car. You can hear them taking hold.
What does that mean, Joan?
I'm afraid, Jerry. It may mean something terrible. There's an emergency of some kind. All the electrical energy is needed someplace on the island. That is why they're placing the permanent magnets to hold this car, so the electromagnets will not drain the current supply.
Well, what can we do? What can happen to us here?
I am not sure, though I think we are in no danger. But what is happening?
Well, whatever it is, I don't like it. I'm going to try pushing some of these buttons for the other levels.
Well, that will do no good, Jerry. I'm sure the current has been taken from the electromagnets. Yes. And it is being taken from the lighting system.
Golly whiskers. The light's going out. It's gone.
Oh, Jerry. What will happen now?
Now, don't act like a girl. We've got to... Hey, what's that noise?
Water rushing around the elevator shaft. The submarine lock must have broken. Oh, Jerry, in this awful dark, with the water rushing around us, what will happen?
If this car is airtight, we'll be all right. I guess. There's that alarm gong again. What's that mean?
That is the submarine level emergency signal. Jerry, the lock must have broken. The ocean is flooding into this level. Oh, Jerry! Jerry!
Gee whiz, Joan. You act just like any other girl when something's gone wrong. You ought to know all about these things. Can't you do something to get us out of here?
No. The electricity is turned off. The car can't be moved. And if we could open the door,
We would be drowned.
But somebody will come and get us out. They know we're in here.
Well, that would make no difference to the Euclideans. Their island comes first with them, and we will be looked for only after the damage is repaired and the instruments checked.
But, gee, we can't stay in here. This thing's airtight. I know it must be, and we'll run out of air to breathe pretty soon.
Yes, the air will be shut off. Oh, Jerry, I'm afraid. Listen to the water. The elevator shaft is shaking with it.
Yeah. It's getting kind of hard to breathe in here.
Oh, Jerry, listen.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P, Pep. Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman. Today, with Professor Sturgeon at the mercy of the scheming rulers of Bolomar, the atomic secrets he alone knows may fall into the hands of ruthless enemies.
Hello there, gang. This is your pal Dan McCullough. You know, there are some things you don't want to keep secret. For example, you want to let your family and friends in on the good eating you'll find in a breakfast bowl of Kellogg's Pep. Maybe you say, gee, Pep sure makes a terrific dish. Or maybe, say, Pep is delicious, and I mean delicious. Or maybe you go into more detail and tell how crisp and crunchy Kellogg's Pep is, how light and delicate and tender as a breeze, and how Pep's sparkling sunshine flavor makes your morning appetite wake up smiling. Kellogg's Pep is called the Sunshine Cereal. It's sunny and golden as anything. And then Mom will probably add a good word about how Pep is good for you, too. And you might even go on to tell about how Kellogg's Pep is so keen, you always polish off your bowl clean as a whistle. You know, that's one way to keep from wasting cereal. Another way is to pour it out carefully. And nowadays, folks take special pains to avoid waste because the cereal grains are being sent to fellows and girls all over the world. Remember that, gang, and say, keep an eye on your younger brothers and sisters, too. Get hep to Pep. Eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
Now, the adventures of Superman. Although Clark Kent and his friends are certain that Professor Alonzo Sturgeon, foremost atom bomb scientist, has been abducted by agents of a foreign power, their only clue to the abductors is the word Zaluto, which one of them had used. While they tried desperately to determine the nationality of the culprits by tracing the language origin of the word, Professor Sturgeon was in the small tropical country of Bolomar, where he was given a powerful and dangerous drug designed to put him at the mercy of his questioners. As we continue now, in a dungeon room of the palace, the professor lies on a cot, his eyes half open, his breathing labored. Near him sits Rex, the dictator of Bolomar, who aspires to rule the world. Beside him sit two scientists. Physicians hover over the half-conscious American. Now, at a sign from the chief physician, Rex leans forward, his piercing black eyes fixed on his prisoner. He speaks. Listen.
Hear me clearly, Professor Sturgeon.
I hear you.
I'm going to ask you some questions. You will answer them truthfully. Do you understand?
I understand.
These are the questions you wish answered, Dr. Blumberg?
Yeah, Your Excellency.
Very well. Hear me, Professor Sturgeon. I will ask you first about the screen which moderates the speed of nuclear fission. You understand?
Yes.
You will tell me whatever I ask about the screen and about all other matters pertaining to the atom bomb.
Yes. I'll tell you.
Very well. Now, tell me this. In what ratio does the screen control the speed of nuclear fission in relation to the atomic weight per unit? Come, tell me the formula.
The formula is M2 over 6.
labored but clear, the drugged professor answers promptly. For over an hour, the beak-nosed Rex fires questions prepared by Dr. Blomberg, the former Nazi atom-smashing expert, and by Dr. Hacheto, Bolomar's leading scientist. All these questions, too, Professor Sturgeon answers, but his voice grows weaker. His breathing falters. Then a shudder passes over his body, and he lies still.
Quick, Yutaro. The professor dies. Give him another injection of the drug. He is still alive, Excellency. But I fear another injection of the drug will surely finish him.
He must be revived regardless. There are questions still on this paper he must answer.
Perhaps he has answered enough, Your Excellency.
You mean you have enough information to manufacture atom bombs similar to the Americans, Blomberg?
I think I have enough to complete their manufacture, Excellency. Do not forget, I was myself within a year of the secret in Germany before the war ended.
See, but
the early and arduous preparation has already been done in the underground cyclotrons and factories here. The uranium pile is completed and purified. All that remains is one or two minor corrections in my previous preparations, saying the completion of the bombs according to Professor Sturgeon's formula.
How long will that take?
Not long, a week, 2 weeks at the most. And the atom bombs will be ready to rain down upon the United States.
We cannot wait 2 weeks. All America, soon all the United Nations will be searching for Professor Sturgeon. We are in ill repute with the United Nations. Should they have reason to suspect us, they may descend upon us and discover our underground factories and airports. You must have the bombs ready in 1 week at most.
I will do my best, Excellency.
General Maron, you will summon the chiefs of the Army and Air Force to meet with the council room at once. We strike at the United States in 1 week.
In 1 week, says Rex of Bolomar, planes carrying atom bombs will launch a surprise and devastating attack upon the United States. As Rex's scientists and military chiefs rush toward preparation of the attack, Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and Horatio Horn, the little amateur detective, are in the library of Dr. Jonas at far-off New Orleans University. Exhausted, Lois has fallen asleep in her chair, while Kent, Horn, and Dr. Jonas continue their pursuit of the one thin clue to Professor Sturgeon's whereabouts.
I've gone through this book on rare dialects from cover to cover, Dr. Jonas, not to mention those other books. I'm beginning to think there's no such word as Zuluto in any language on Earth.
Well, I'm beginning to think the same thing, Mr. Kent. I must confess, gentlemen, I'm stumped.
I must confess the same thing. The president of my alma mater, the famous Correspondence School of Detectives Institute, stated that the first rule for a good detective is to be resourceful, but I seem to have exhausted all my resources.
You can't give up now. This is our only clue to Professor Sturgeon, and we've got to solve it before the worst thing that ever happened to this country can happen.
Well, the police are searching for the professor, Mr. Kent, and so are the FBI, and Army and Navy intelligence. It's in all the papers and on the radio. Somebody may find him.
Yes, but they may be too late. The peace of the whole world may depend on my finding Professor Sturgeon in time.
On your finding him?
Well, I mean, on our finding him. Oh, think, Dr. Jonas, you're a philologist. Words are your profession.
Yes, I know, but I'm afraid I can do no more, Mr. Kent. The only thing I can suggest is that you consult an expert etymologist.
A what?
An etymologist.
Etymology is that branch of philology which treats with the tracing of the origin of words, Mr. Holmes.
Oh, yes, of course.
I have a working knowledge of etymology, of course, but I am not an expert. A man like, say Gordon might be able to track down the word by means of esoteric derivatives, of which he has made a special study.
Gordon, you say?
Yes, Mitchell Gordon. Unfortunately, he's pretty far away in Metropolis, but you could wire him and perhaps receive an answer by tomorrow.
I don't want to wait that long if I can help it, and I think I can. There's a much faster way. Hold the bridge, Horatio. I'll see you later.
Hurrying from Dr. Jonas' home, Clark Kent steps behind a tall hedge, strips off his business suit. Then, as Superman, he leaps into the sunny morning sky and rockets away to the northeast, bound for Metropolis. We'll return in a moment for the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
You know, this week's Pep Dish of the Week is certainly hep to this summer weather. It's as cool and refreshing as a breeze. Fact is, it's called a blackberry breeze, and it's making a sure hit at many a breakfast table. Easy as a breeze to make, too. All you have to do is to pour your regular serving of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal, in your bowl. Then on top, scatter a shower of juicy blackberries that have been chilled in a little sugar. Pour on cool milk and pitch in. That's a blackberry breeze. And you know, Kellogg's Pep adds wonderful zip to those sugar-crusted berries. Of course, Pep is a neat dish for a summer breakfast in itself. It's light and delicate and tender as can be. Crisp and crunchy, too. And how that golden toasted sunshine flavor does give your appetite the old come on. Makes you dig right in for another spoonful and another until you've finished off every last flake in your bowl. which is a particularly smart idea nowadays when we're sending the cereal grains to fellows and girls overseas. You don't want to waste cereal. So, gang, when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, appoint yourself a committee of one to help guard against waste. Pass the word along to the rest of your family, too. Eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
Arriving in Metropolis, Superman goes at once to call on Mitchell Gordon, famous etymologist. Now, shortly after noon, we find him once more in the guise and garb of reporter Clark Kent in Editor Perry White's office at the Metropolis Daily Planet.
And that's that, Chief. Mitchell Gordon couldn't trace the word Saluto either.
This is getting serious, Kent.
Getting serious? It's the most serious thing that ever happened to this country. Professor Sturgeon is one of the few men who knows all the secrets of the atom bomb. If some unscrupulous, ambitious nation forces those secrets from him...
Now, wait a minute. Don't let's start seeing bogeymen.
I'm not,
We've got to keep our heads. There's enough hysteria in the country already about this. Well, what about those pilots in New Orleans? The ones you think flew Sturgeon out of the country?
They're still unable to talk, and maybe for a long time. No, our only clue, I'm afraid, is this word Saluto.
Well, maybe not. Now, look. Those pilots were gone about 24 hours, from the time they took off from New Orleans to when they radioed they were going to crash in the Gulf, and Superman rescued them, right?
Right. So what?
Well, we knew they were flying a converted Army C-54.
Yes?
We know the range and speed of that plane. With a chart, we ought to be able to figure the places they might have gone.
Wait a minute. Now, there are quite a few places they could have gone, including any one of several countries, islands, jungles, mountains, or what have you.
No. They wouldn't go to an island or a jungle or a mountain.
They might, to make a rendezvous or throw off pursuit and then go on from there.
Yes, I suppose so. Then where are we, Kent? We've got to find Sturgeon and fast.
I'm glad you finally see that.
What do you mean, finally? I've seen it all along. Well, it's just that I want to keep sane about this thing and not go off half-cocked.
Good. Then maybe I can tell you an idea.
What's that?
It's this word Zaluto. Now, my idea is that we can run...
that Polluto or Zaluto or whatever it is.
Well, now, wait a minute.
I tell you, it's just another of the crack-brained Horatio Horn's brainstorms.
Will you wait, Chief? You said things like that about Horn when he first showed up here to tell us Professor Sturgeon was in danger. But he was right, wasn't he?
Well, yes.
And he's been right a couple of times since. He's a smart little apple, Chief, and I'm convinced he heard this word correctly. Lois backs him up, too.
Okay, so he heard it. Now, where does that get us? No philologist or etymologist or anybody else ever heard of the word, so we can forget it.
Not by a long shot. It's still our only clue. Now, look, Chief, this is what I want to do. Run a word contest in the Daily Planet.
A word contest?
Yes. We'll list several words, say half a dozen or so, from different languages. One of them will be Zaluto. We'll offer a prize of $100 for the correct answer to each word, including its meaning and origin. And a grand prize of $1,000 to whoever knows all the words.
I see what you're getting at. Metropolis has the largest population in the country.
Mm-hmm.
You think someone from whatever country they use the word Zaluto in might see it and write in for the prize.
Exactly. Also, I think...
But why clutter up the contest with words from other languages?
Well...
Why not just come out and ask for Zaluto? That'll attract more attention.
Because the people behind the abduction of Professor Sturgeon have proved they're very clever. I believe they're watching our newspapers and listening to our radios, and we don't want to make them suspicious before we're ready to act.
Well...
Let's try it, Chief. It's our only chance, and it just might work. What do you say?
12:30. If we work fast, we can catch the late edition.
Atta boy, Chief.
Oh, Miss Backrack, tell Donovan to rip out page 1. Tell him I'll have a new layout for him in 20 minutes. Well, what are you standing around for, Kent? Get busy and knock out the copy for the contest.
You bet.
We'll give it a hit on the bottom of page 1.
Right, Chief.
Miss Backrack, get Burroughs and Goldman in here. And yes, a rewrite man. Then tell Larry in the art department that I want...
Snapping up Clark Kent's plan, Perry White goes into action, arranging the contest which he and Kent hope will lead them to the abductors of Professor Sturgeon. Will they succeed? Let's hope they will, because in far-off Bolomar at this moment, Rex and his German and native scientists are working feverishly to complete their plan for an attack upon the United States. What will happen? Tomorrow's episode brings some of the answers, so don't miss it. Tune in, same time, same station. And remember, for breakfast, it's Kellogg's Pep. For excitement, the adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC comic magazines and is brought to you Monday through Friday at the same time by Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal. Say, gang, think of all the famous names you know, and you'll think of Kellogg, the greatest name in cereals. Then you'll think of Kellogg's Shredded Wheat. Makes breakfast loads of fun. Crisp, tender biscuits of whole wheat, toasted just right and packed with natural nut sweet flavor. Just the right size, too, made to fit the bowl. As for nutrition, well, Mom knows that whole wheat is mighty good for you. And for economy, she likes the 15 biscuits in every package. Try Kellogg's Shredded Wheat. You'll like it. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are somewhere in the Pacific, out of Leyte in the Philippines, charting a course of south by southeast, when out of the deep of the sea, a new volcano is born, and your ship is caught in the middle of it, from which there is no escape.
Listen now as Escape brings you Vincent McHugh's story, The Boiling Sea.
It should have been an easy trip. It was the spring of 45. The war was almost over, and what few Japs were left that far south didn't figure to give us any trouble. I was first mate of the Hopi Victory, hauling cargo with the landings in the Philippines. For this trip, we detoured south to the tiny island of Cavern in the Moluccas to pick up a detachment of Rangers, a demolition team, and bring them up to Samar. We cleared for the north about 18:30 hours, and as darkness fell, I went out on deck. There I found Lieutenant Drury, the Ranger CO, and his staff sergeant watching Gamkamura, the volcano, over on the island.
Hi, McCallum.
Evening, mate.
Quite a sight, isn't it?
Sure is, but it'll get better. We passed closer to it off Tenati. In the dark, you can see the lava spouting like 4th of July.
We got to look at a small one back on Kazarudi. Inactive. This whole group of islands on both sides of the strait is volcanic, you tell me.
That's right.
You can have my share of them. That big baby there used to keep us awake nights, rumbling.
Well, they aren't exactly conducive to peace of mind, I'll admit, Sergeant, but they're very interesting. I'd like a chance to study one more closely.
No, not for me, Lieutenant.
Well, probably won't get another chance now. The men all comfortable, Sergeant?
Well, it ain't the Queen Mary, sir, but they're okay.
Sorry. This baby wasn't meant for troop transport.
No matter. We're used to improvising. Well, night, gentlemen.
Night,
sir.
sir.
Nice guy.
The best. One of them guys with principles. Serious. You know, educated. Them kind usually get clobbered first thing. But he's come through. Plenty.
You have a time back there in Kazarudi?
Not much. Jap radio station. Half starved out already. Of course, they put up a fight. They always do. But not so bad. Hey, look at that thing. Belching smoke a mile high. Flashing like...
Yeah. Spectacular, all right.
Hey, Lieutenant, could I interest you in a human scalp tanned with mangrove bark? Got me a couple of extra back there. Sell one cheap.
No, thanks, Sergeant. I got one scalp. I hope that'll last me the run. That night, for the first time since we left home, I couldn't get to sleep. I tried reading a while and gave that up, too. Finally, I got a cup of coffee and took one up to Hannigan on the bridge.
Hey, thanks, Mac. Just what I needed.
We sipped our coffee quietly. The bosun stood silently at the wheel. The time was 04:25 hours. We were steaming up through the Molucca Passage. Course 1 degree true, speed 18 knots. A smooth, gentle swell. The phosphorescence in the bow wash was bright enough to show our hands and faces. It was peaceful.
Hey, Mac, you smell anything?
Coffee?
Bob, come here, stand over here.
Yeah. A little sulfur and something that smells like wet dust.
That's what I thought, too, sir. Well, couldn't it... Say, isn't there a volcano over there in Halmahera where you might be getting a little land breeze?
Yeah, but we passed it an hour back. I'll take it. I got him.
You guys spitting over the side up there?
What's the matter, Brown?
I just happened to notice my intake water's heating up.
How much?
Well, it's supposed to be about 25 degrees centigrade around here. It's 29 now. We're pulling sludge, too. Looks like pumice.
Okay. Guess you better call the captain, Hannigan. Smell that, Captain?
Yes. You checked the ship, Mr. McCallum?
Yes, sir. Boyd and Foreman went over it, too. Nothing wrong.
Yes. Well, stop the engines.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hannigan, you checked our position?
Yes, Captain. It's verified here on the chart.
Sonic depth finder on, Mr. Grange?
Yes, sir. Turned it on right away. Reads 1143 fathoms.
Let's see here. This is where we are, about 35 miles west of Gambaki and Halmahera. Nautical miles, that is.
Yes, sir.
Now, over here, you see, less than 3 miles northwest, you've got a Gea. Somebody reported a shoal there once. Hasn't been found again since. Might be anywhere in the general vicinity. You see here? It's marked 18 fathoms.
E.G. Existence doubtful.
Reported February 1871. Well, if there is something there, it can't be anything but a submarine mountain. Not with those depths all around it. Yes, probably volcanic. One of those buggers that push up, you know, and sink back down again. Got some of them up in the Bonies. But all we've got to go on is this old captain that came through here in 1871. Probably a whaler. Didn't care where he was, so long as he had his foot on a fish. You think he could have got his bearings in Halmahera?
Can't tell, I suppose.
Now, here's this old fellow dawdling through here in February. Northwest monsoon at its height. Fairly good winds, mostly north or west of north. Current sets about 2 knots with the wind, so if he's out in his reckoning, you see, it's probably because he's farther over to the south and east than he thought. Like this. Mm-hmm. That puts us pretty close to the trouble. We can't go off to the southeast because we don't know how far out he was. If he was out. Now, here, we could go this way, but it seems foolish to backtack on our course and then go west to get clear. Don't see why we wouldn't be safe if we cut across the angle to the southwest.
Sounds right to me, Captain.
Yes, sir, should be safe enough. Well, let's hope so. Mr. Grange, stand by the depth finder and sing out if you get any shoaling. Yes, sir.
The ship was at dawn GQ where the engine stopped. An eerie ocean silence hung over everything. It was still dark, but a soft glimmer was beginning to show behind the peaks on Halmahera.
Stop the engines, half speed.
Yes, sir, half speed.
The returning pulse of the engines, like a reviving heartbeat, seemed to bring the ship back to life.
You're about 225.
225. Up high Victory began to gather way, turning. The bosun got her around, met her, and settled on course. Hannigan stood by the bridge front. For minutes we stood quietly, watching, waiting. Now there was a rosy smear in the east behind us, a gloaming on the sea. I could just make out the bow and a man silhouetted in the crow's nest above us.
Hannigan. Right, Brownie. Engine room says 32 degrees centigrade, Captain.
Up 3 degrees.
Yeah. Stay on the phone, Mr. Hannigan. Report any change. In another few minutes, we'll be able to see a little more.
Captain, man in the crow's nest. He's waiting.
Captain, thermometer reads 38 fathoms.
Rockstead ahead.
Full left rudder.
Full left rudder.
We could see it now, not 500 yards ahead. Nothing in a nightmare had ever been so awful as that jagged, rocky crest hunching and lifting like the back of a great dawn lizard in the yellow light. It came fuming out of the sea, slimy with the first mud of creation. The slow swell pitched up on it. We could feel its deep, grumbling roar through the noise of the engines. The ship was turning now, and no one spoke. We stared with slow understanding of the horror that began to form in all our minds. The monster was not a single peak. The ridge we'd seen coming up in the southwest was extending itself in a long curve of points and benches all across the south.
Keep it turning.
Keep it turning. But it was already too late. Clear across the red-pink wash of dawn, a black spur joined onto the east. And when we looked north, the swell was looking up on a jag of new rock that thickened to the west and hooked on down into the southwest. The Hopi Victory was completely encircled. We were trapped in the middle of an emerging volcano.
You are listening to The Boiling Sea, tonight's presentation of Escape. Keep the family intact this holiday weekend by driving safely. Observe speed laws. Stay on your side of the road and don't try to save time at the risk of losing a lifetime. Driving's more relaxed, more fun that way, and safer, too. And now back to Escape and the second act of The Boiling Sea.
Few seconds for the full impact of the situation to hit us. Encircled, trapped in a crater of jagged, rising peaks on every quarter of the compass. Still, nobody said anything until Captain Hazard spoke in a quiet voice.
All right. Stop the engine.
Then we all knew. The wash dropped away and the hope by victory settled, floating dead in a fuming, black-brown lake that bubbled like mud coming to a boil. The terrible, stony rumbling jarred up through the soles of our shoes.
Well, I got you fellas into this.
Oh, no, Captain. You did the best you could.
How could anyone know where an uncharted mountain would come up out of the sea?
Hannigan.
I don't want to get you fellas too excited up there, but you better quit smoking. We're getting 68 degrees centigrade on this thing. Got the eggs in one boiled? What is going on up there?
Brownie, we're in a volcano.
Well, I always told you something like this would happen. You know, you gotta watch where you're going.
68 degrees centigrade, sir.
Well,
Jonah made it.
Yeah, we don't know. Maybe there's a hole in it somewhere. We can wait till it settles down, get the boats out.
Yes, by golly. Gave you an idea, Mr. McCallum. If we do a good job of surveying, maybe they'll forgive us for getting into it in the first place.
No one mentioned the chance that we might never get out. We lived in the crater of a mountain in eruption. It was still working and thrusting, but its force had begun to die down. In the west and southwest, its highest peaks were maybe 50, 60 feet above the sea. In the north and northwest, much lower, we could see the swell breaking over it in places.
Mr. Hannigan, you will check and recheck the position?
Yes, Captain.
Mr. Grandjean, you will take bearings and measurements of the rim, starting at 0 degrees and working all around the compass.
Yes, sir.
Mr. McCallum, you will pass the word that we're going to try getting out of here just as soon as the first shock is over. Don't want them to think we're not doing anything.
Yes, sir.
Might let the people down in the engine room know, and the gun crew, and tell Lieutenant Drury and his rangers.
Yes, sir.
All right? Thank you, gentlemen.
I carried the message to the other officers. Men were hanging over the rail looking at the dead fish in the putrid water. Everybody was coughing. Sickly gases came up in spurts and slow blobs. Here and there a small geyser pattered down stones and mud on the water. There was a wash of gloomy sun on the crags to the west. Beyond lay the glimmer of the Molucca Passage, like the hope of life itself. It seemed very distant now. At breakfast, the captain was still cheerful.
All right, gentlemen, we may as well eat. May not have another chance for a while.
What do you think, sir?
Well, looks as if the first one is about over. We'll get the boats out after breakfast. See if we can't find a hole in it. Just a Western omelet for me, mess.
What if we can't do that, sir?
Maybe we can find a place to get the boats across. Isn't far to Halmahera, you know, about 36 miles, but I'd hate to... Wish I knew more about how these volcanoes behave. It might sink down again in an hour or two, or it might keep building up.
Could I make a suggestion, Captain Hazard?
Yes, go ahead, Lieutenant Drury.
My boys are trained in demolition work. If we can find the right place, I think we might be able to blast a hole big enough for the ship to get through.
Yes, thank you, Lieutenant. Yes, we've been thinking the same thing. Only trouble is, a blast like that might set the whole business off. I suppose we'd better wait till we've tried everything else first.
We take the boats out right after breakfast, sir?
Yes, Mr. McCallum. You will take one and go north to the rim. Follow it to the east. Mr. Hannigan will take the other south and follow it west. Lieutenant Drury, a detail of your rangers can go in each boat.
What about communication, sir?
Yeah. Too bad we don't have radios in the boats. We'll have to use flare guns. One flare if you find a hole big enough for the ship. Confirm it with a handlet. Then 2 flares to command. The usual recall signal.
Yes, sir.
Well, gentlemen, we're in God's hands now.
Yards, sir. These are in slowly, bosun, right into the rocks.
Yes, sir.
Take a look at that water, Mac. You ever see anything like it? Slimy, gas bubbling up.
Not very inviting. Take a look at what's ahead, Lieutenant.
Yeah. Doesn't look like any rock I've ever seen before. There's something monstrous, something tortured about it.
Yeah. It's all yours, Lieutenant.
Ready, Sergeant Votar?
Ready, sir.
Easy, bosun. All right, Alden. Steady.
All right, you guys. Go! Okay.
Good. Now hand over the picks. Get specimens of the rock. Votar, you going up the top and check.
Yes.
This doesn't look very promising.
No, it's only 20 feet high, but we haven't got enough explosives to blast through here. Must be gaps somewhere.
There's Votar on top.
Votar! Can you see anything?
About 40 feet across.
Any breaks to the east?
Can't see any. Can't tell for sure, though.
All right. Come back. We'll go down farther.
We cruised slowly along the rim through the dirty, brown-black simmering water, stopping every few hundred yards to break off specimens of rock. It was hot. We felt as if our bodies were drenched in a heated grease. The crater had a general downhill trend to the eastward. In the northeast sector, it came to what appeared to its lowest point. Here, the swell broke clear across the shallow peak.
This is the best place for blasting we've seen yet.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad. Might be possible.
Let me take 4 of my men on those rocks and try to find some likely openings for charges, just in case.
Okay. Move in close again, bosun. Listen, Drury. Those rocks are wet, and that swell has plenty of power. Watch yourselves.
Don't worry about us, matey. We don't mind wet feet.
Uh-huh. Set her easy, bosun.
Okay, boys, over we go. Come on, get the lead out.
All right, Ben. String out. Look for traps.
I'll hold her off, bosun. You stand by with the line secured, ready to toss them just in case.
How about this, mate? You think we'll have to try it?
Last resort? I don't know, Walt. Looks like maybe, unless Hannigan found something, we should have.
I don't know. Blasting in this stuff is like lighting a firecracker in a dynamite factory.
May have to take the chance.
Yeah. Look back there toward the ship. That dirty yellow guck. We ought to break out the gas mask. We had gas masks.
What was that? An explosion, sir. Underneath us. The whole thing's going up.
No, it's sinking. Look, the men, they're sinking. From the line, bosun, hurry, heave.
Drury, grab the line. Get your men on it. We'll pull you in. That's it. Pass it on, all of you. Hurry.
All right. Now on. Heave. Bring it in.
Heave. Fast as you can. Heave.
Okay, here's Drury.
Heave. Get it in. Hurry.
Come on, Drury. Come on.
What's happening? The whole thing's moving. Keep heaving.
Votar. Where's Votar?
We got him right here. Come on up, heave. Oh, God in heaven. Keep pulling, man. Keep pulling.
All right, here's the next one. That'd be close to that 3.
All right. Coming easier now.
Here's another. That's Hangley. 4. Come on, fella, grab, huh? One more. Look.
All right.
quick so we can get out of here.
The line's coming too fast.
Trouble. Where's Trouble? Wait, Lieutenant. Stop him, Walt.
Hold it, Drury. You can't do
Trouble's
it.
still in there. You can't go back in without a line. Tie it around his waist, Walt.
I'm going to.
All right, but tie him to that line. Then we'll be able to haul you back.
They went over the side, disappearing into the murk on the sludgy water. The sharks were increasing in violence now. They jabbed their teeth in our heads. We looked toward the ship and saw the western rim of the crater thrusting up in a great wall behind it. Then Walt's head appeared close to the boat, his face black, and he shook a hopeless no. He dived again 2 or 3 times and then let us pull him in. But Drury wouldn't give up.
Come on, pull him in.
He's fighting us.
Well, fight him back and get him into this boat.
Yes, sir.
Here, I'll give you a hand.
Let me go. We've got to get Trouble. Let me go.
You can't waste any more time. Get in. It's no use, Drury.
He's in there somewhere. We can't just let him stay there. No.
Come on. All right, Wilson, take her off.
McCullum.
I'm sorry about Trouble, Lieutenant, but he is one man. There are 100 men back there in the hope by victory.
Yeah. Sorry. It's getting worse every minute. If we're going to do anything, we got to do it fast.
Hey, look! Over there where the rock sank. That gap's big enough for the ship?
Yeah, maybe. But is it deep enough?
It's got to be. The whole thing may go up any minute like a Roman camp.
All right. Bosun, fire one flare. Walt, get the hand lead.
I've got it. All coiled.
Don't heave a drag at 10 fathoms. We'll quarter across the gap. Sing out if you feel anything. The boat moved slowly across the old edge of the crater and out into the open sea. Walt, holding the lead line, shook his head at me. He felt nothing. I turned carefully in the swell and quartered back into the crater. I could see the Hope by Victory creeping toward us. She'd recalled Hannigan's boat and was dragging ahead of her in a narrow S-curve. They were like vessels under shell fire. The whole center of the crater was writhing with smoke and erupting geysers of mud and stone. Sea rocks falling on the deck. Behind the ship, the western crags now jutted 300 feet high, lifting and working in black agony. The ship was coming on fast. We were the last chance. You feel anything, Walt?
Nothing.
Can they make it, sir?
I've got to. Fire 2 flares. And we'll stand out to sea and make a target for them.
They better hurry. This thing's about to blow its top.
All right, here, too, Bosun. We'll stand here.
You'll never make it. That gap's too small.
Be a tight squeeze. The captain's got it perfectly centered.
Yeah, well, he'd better. He's coming full speed, and he misses.
Hannigan's through. Another minute, we'll know. Men, if they crash, we'll have to work fast.
Unless the shock is enough to set the whole thing off.
Here they come. The swell's breaking on the bow.
He's not flanking Spade, and it's too small. It's too small.
They're in. She's coming through. She's coming through. Hey! We're not out of the ship.
Hey, he's not cutting his speed.
He's not going to leave us here. Calm down. He's standing between the 2 boats. You'll get us on one side and Hannigan on the other.
Look, Captain's signaling from the bridge.
Bosun, give her full speed. Give her everything you got. Parallel his course.
Press the kiss, Bob. And hang on. We'll pick you up later.
You heard him. Both our dory, Walt. Hope they get that line when it's thrown down and don't miss.
Right.
Here they are. Both steady against the bow watch, Bosun. Over the alongside. All right, here comes the line. Got it. Break fast. Hurry before we lose the slack. And make it good and fast. Give it a rush, Bosun. All right, we're fast.
Brother, just in time.
All right, Bosun. You cut the engine. We're on the top.
Man. So we ain't gonna sleep on a bed of coals tonight.
Brother, I ain't never felt anything so good as the pull on that line.
20 knots, full speed. Pulling us away fast. Maybe 2 miles already.
Can't be too fast for me.
Look at that thing, will you? It's an inferno.
Yeah, it's sure.
Look!
All of it.
Walt, help the bosun with the tiller. Hold her in. Grab the gas rod, Drury. Help me knot her back as far as we can. And stay down, everybody. Stay down. There's a wave coming. A tidal wave.
Look at it.
Come on, pull. No hold. All right, get down, everybody. Keep down.
We thought we were safe. 50, 60, maybe 100 feet. We'll take the whole ship.
Get down and hang on, then. Here it comes. Here it comes. Look out!
Everybody all right?
I don't know how, but we're all right, Mac.
That wave had lifted us to the level of the rail of the Hopi Victory. But a seismic wave does not crest an open sea, so it came as one great smooth swell that lifted us high and passed and let us swoop back down again. A few minutes later, the ship picked us up, and we all paused to look back at the emblem of fire we had left behind us.
Well, I guess maybe the captain was right. We must have been in the hands of God. All except trouble.
Yeah. All except trouble.
Well, Lieutenant, you wanted to study a volcano close to?
Did I? Well, remind me, Votor, to cross that study off my list.
Escape, produced and directed by David Friedkin and Morton Fine, has brought you The Boiling Sea, a story by Vincent McHugh, and adapted for radio by John Dunkel. Featured in the cast were Ted DeCorsia, Herb Butterfield, Harry Bartell, Herb Ellis, and Tony Barrett. Also heard were Jack Moyles, Clayton Post, and Jim Hayward. Your announcer, Bill Anders. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are stranded with a carnival just this side of the Iron Curtain, when out of nowhere a fortune is within your grasp, riding a number on a roulette wheel hundreds of feet high. While at your shoulder, laughing at you, a killer clown from whom there is no escape.
So listen next week when Escape brings you David Friedkin and Morton Fine's story, Carnival in Vienna. Stay tuned now for Night Watch, which follows immediately over most of these stations. There's comedy with My Little Margie, Sunday nights on the CBS Radio Network.
Rice Chex and Sweet Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages, present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz is trying to rescue Happy from a cavern on Neptune. As he hurries toward the cadet, a strange sound echoes in the cavern.
Hap, what's that?
Just one of Polidor's tricks. He's trying to scare us with sound.
Sorry. You're only a few yards from the cadet, and I am on another planet. But what? You'll never reach him.
Commander, look out! The gate's closing!
Happy!
It's no use, Commander. You're both my prisoners.
We'll be back in a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, The Cavern of Fear.
Cadet Happy!
Yeah?
Cadet Happy!
Yeah? Who's there? Oh, smoking rockets. It's a walking, talking totem pole.
Nope, no totem pole. Me, wearing all three of my Man from Mars totem heads, stacked one on top of the other.
Space patroller with all these totem heads, you look about 8 feet tall.
And I could see you, and you couldn't see me. That's magic forward vision. And every totem head has it. A special secret vision place that lets you see out, but nobody see in.
Say, gang, have you got any of these king totem heads yet? They're more than 12 inches high from head to shoulders. Your identity is a complete secret. And those neat colors, red and yellow, green and black. A weird face in front with fang teeth, flop ears, and a beak-like nose. Got a fantastic face in back, too. Put it on, and you're coming and going at the same time. Remember, with your totem head, you can see out, but nobody else can see in.
That's magic forward vision.
Man, oh man, it's terrific. Get a lot of totem heads, and you can be a walking, talking totem pole. Like my pal here. It's easy to get him, too. And send for yours today.
For every Man from Mars totem head you want, send a rice check or wheat check box top, together with your name and address and 25 cents in coin to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Now today's Space Patrol adventure, The Cavern of Fear. Exactly 7 minutes after the report of the robbery, Commander Corey and Cadet Happy were in Division A of the Express Office of the Paris Police Force. That anyone could successfully carry off a robbery in Division A was incredible. For 15 years, Sam Grady had observed the formal security regulations as chief agent of Division A, observed them faithfully, but without the slightest suspicion that anyone would dare to violate them. Yet here is Sam Grady, his head still throbbing from an aching blow, face to face with the commander-in-chief of the Space Patrol, trying to explain a robbery that just couldn't happen.
All right, Grady, let's go over it once more. Everything was all right at your check-in time at 2200 hours. You came in here and opened the safe.
That's right, Commander. I took the package of Zyklon pistols out of the safe.
All right. You had the package. You closed the safe. You checked the code book.
I started out of this room to give the package to Lieutenant Briggs. As I got to the door, I heard this voice.
A voice here in the room?
Yes, it was a big boom voice.
What did the voice say? Do you recall?
Well, this doesn't make sense, but I thought it said, "Have you forgotten something?" It was a thought that might have been in my own mind at the time. I'm very conscious of security regulations, you know, so I turned back.
Did you see anyone?
Not then. But as I walked back toward the safe, I was suddenly aware of a movement behind me. It seemed like there were 2 men in the room, and as I turned, one of them slugged me. That's all I remembered until I heard the officer in charge standing over me, shaking me.
And by then, these men had disappeared with the Zyklon crystals.
Yes.
Well, Commander, this voice booming, it sure sounds like Polidor to me.
Polidor?
He's behind several major robberies, but by some means he's able to project his voice to direct members of his gang. Whatever this device is, it enables Polidor to see and hear as well as project his voice. Unless we grant Polidor magic powers, this device has to be planted at the scene of crime by human agents.
I don't see how any device could be hidden in here, in Division A. And yet that voice, it was so full and powerful.
I'll check behind these files, Commander. Maybe there's
just a minute, Happy. Come here.
Yes, sir?
What's that on your shoulder, that white powder?
Smoking rockets, and I just had this uniform cleaned.
Wait, don't brush it off. Whatever it is must have dropped in your tunic since we came in this room. Grady, I want you to come along with us to headquarters for a brainograph test.
Well, sure, Commander. I'll do anything I can to cooperate.
We'll get to the lab, have that powder in the uniform analyzed. Maybe it's a clue to pull it on, maybe not. We won't know until we grab it, our bait.
Bait?
I'll tell you about it later. Come on, let's get to headquarters.
Far out in space, a private cruiser races away from the man-made planet Terra. Turning from the controls, the pilot tunes the spaceophone to a rarely used frequency, adjusts the scrambler circuit, and beams a signal into space.
Vortex aboard cruiser S-713 calling Polidor. Vortex to Polidor. Vortex calling Polidor.
Polidor here, go ahead.
Dicron crystals are aboard. Flashes are still on Terra as you direct.
Good. The express clerk will not be invited by us. I was due then when he was being questioned by Commander Corey.
Oh, then Grady recovered all right?
Yes. Corey is going to give him a brainogram test. But don't worry.
What about the detectoscope button?
It's destroyed. Reduce the powder.
That'll leave Corey with another mystery on his hands.
Yes. Wojciech, you will proceed to Neptune as directed.
Sure, Polidor.
Hold the Zycron crystals at the cavern until I contact you. Hold it or out.
In Commander Corey's central office at Space Patrol headquarters, Buzz and Happy are examining the results of the brainograph test on Sam Grady, express agent of Division A.
Well, one thing's sure. Grady wasn't in on the job.
No, everything he told us was the truth. He wasn't even guilty of carelessness.
Polidor's men had everything figured down to the last detail. Say, Commander, what about that powder on my jacket?
The lab's still working on it, but I have a preliminary report. Powder's composed of several different elements, materials that might be used in electronics equipment.
Then Polidor must have had some gadget fastened to the ceiling. The gadget he projects his voice from.
Mm-hmm. Also, it apparently acts as a viewscope and sound detector as well as a reproducer.
It sure must be a compact device. Judging from the amount of powder, the whole thing couldn't have been much larger than a coin.
Or some of the material may have been completely vaporized. Or telling the jacket was just gas.
Yeah, but how was it destroyed?
Possibly by a vibration. And Polidor heard me tell you to search the room. He may have transmitted a frequency that precipitated the device.
I'd sure like to know who planted it then. Say, back in Division A, you mentioned something about a trap for Polidor. How are you going to work it?
Already in operation, Pat. A group of businessmen are holding an important meeting in the green room at the Terra Hotel. Discussing a financial matter I'm sure Polidor will be very interested in. The shipment of $1 million credits to the Saturn Trust Company.
The green room? But that's supposed to be spy-proof.
Exactly. Behind the walls, floor, and ceiling is an electronic jamming device that would garble any recording or secret taking.
Even this gadget of Polidor's?
But if Polidor succeeded in planting his gadget in the green room, it would be working. He'll have the jamming device disconnected. Polidor will hear everything that goes on in that room.
How can we be sure that he heard about the meeting?
I've arranged for some carefully planted leaks. If Polidor's spy set up, he should have picked up our planted information.
$1 million credit bait. That ought to lead Polidor into a trap, all right.
It's nearly 1,400 hours, Hap. The meeting in the green room ought to be breaking up soon. When everyone leaves, we'll search the conference room.
On the top floor of the luxurious Terra Hotel, Buzz and Happy wait unobtrusively at the end of the corridor as 10 important business leaders file out of the green room. As the group steps into an elevator, Buzz touches Happy's arm.
It's clear, Hap. Come on.
Commander, I think that last man saw us. I'm pretty sure he recognized you.
I know he did, Hap. That was Nelson Kettering, chairman of the meeting. He's the only man in that group who knows we're setting a trap for Polidor. Go on in, Hap.
Hey, this is some room. Look at the size of that conference table.
I'll check this switch, and we'll search the room.
Switch?
The protective system was turned off during the meeting. To give Polidor an earful. Then when Kettering left, he turned it on.
Oh, I get it. So Polidor couldn't hear us or see us while we're searching the room.
We'll start a systematic search. We'll check every square inch of the walls and ceiling.
It'd be pretty hard to conceal anything in this room. The walls are smooth and plain.
Hap, look up at the ceiling. You see anything up there?
No, sir.
Look close, right in the center, directly over the table.
I still don't see. Oh, yeah. A small round thing. I can barely make it out.
You put one of these chairs on the table, have you? You can get a closer look.
Sure, sir.
Here, I'll give you a boost.
Something like a large button. You want me to see if I can pry it loose?
Here, Hap, take this metal box. Electronically shielded like the conference room. You get that button down, drop it in the box.
Yes, sir.
Now hold the box right under it so the gadget will remain in a strong shielding field.
It's coming loose, Commander. I got it.
Hand me the box, Hap.
Yes, sir.
All right. Get back to headquarters and have the lab analyze this thing. To get to headquarters, we'll have a checkmate on everybody here at the hotel who has access to the conference room.
Yeah. Might give us a lead on who planted that gadget.
Help! Help! Gentlemen, can you help me?
What's the trouble?
It's my partner. I was sent up here to help him clean one of the rooms. There he was, lying on the floor of the janitor's supply room. I'll pull.
Come on, Hap.
Must have dropped a bottle of cleaning solvent. Fumes got him. Here, right in here. See, there he is.
Wow. No wonder he passed out. That stuff burns my lungs.
I hope we're not too late.
You hold the door open. Hap, let's drag him out in the corridor where he can get some fresh air.
Yes, sir. I'll take his feet, Commander.
I ask you to hold that door open.
Get your hands up, both of you.
Uh-oh, Commander.
Isn't a ray gun rather odd equipment for a janitor to carry?
I cut the chatter. Hand over what you took out of the conference room.
What makes you think we took anything out of the room?
I watched you go in and I watched you come out. Now hand over that box. Come on, or you'll get what that guy got.
All right. Here you are.
It's being smart, Corey. Now don't try anything. I'm watching. Take a look in this box. Well, you found it, huh? Thanks, Corey. You saved me a lot of trouble. I just put the detectoscope button in my pocket.
Wait, Blanchard. Hold the button up.
Hold it.
Well, Corey and the cadet.
I found a button in the conference room, Polidor.
Where are you now?
In the janitor's supply room of the Terra Hotel. I took care of the real janitor with the ray gun and borrowed a spare uniform from his locker.
Blanchard.
Yes, Polidor.
You're on the top floor of the Terra Hotel?
Yeah.
Good. I noticed a window in the rear of the room. Use the ray gun on Corey and the cadet. Then shove them out the window. A 30-story drop, Commander. And you'll be out of my life for good.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. A spook from outer space. Or an Indian from a reservation on Mars. Or a mystery man from another solar system. Yes, sir, Space Patrol. You could be any one of those weird characters when you're wearing a Man from Mars totem head with Magic Forehead Vision. That's the special secret vision plate every totem head comes equipped with. So you can see out, but nobody else can see in or know who's wearing the Man from Mars totem head. And to make sure your identity is a complete secret, it's more than 12 inches high. Colors that are out of this world. Red and yellow, green and black. Remember, you see out. Nobody sees in with Magic Forehead Vision. Fantastic fun. You can have it with a Man from Mars totem head. Get one. Get as many as you like and wear them all. Stacked one on top of the other. For every totem head you want, send a rice check or wheat check box top, together with your name and address and 25 cents in coin to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Offered only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time. Now, back to our Space Patrol adventure, the Cavern of Fear. Buzz and Happy have been lured into a janitor's supply room on the top floor of the Terra Hotel by Blanchard, one of Polidor's confederates. Holding the Space Patrollers at gunpoint, Blanchard removed the detectoscope button from a shielded box, enabling Polidor in some remote and unknown place of security to see and hear everything in the room. Polidor had ordered Blanchard to use the ray gun on Buzz and Happy, and then thrust their unconscious forms through the window 30 floors above the street.
All right, Corey. You heard what Polidor said. I think I'll take care of you first.
You're making a mistake, Blanchard. Why should you run all the risks? Do Polidor's dirty work.
Go on, Blanchard. He's just calling. Let him have it.
Okay, Polidor. What's that?
It's just the intercom on the wall. Blanchard, look out!
I'll take that gun, Blanchard. Hey, that was a beauty, Commander.
Here's Blanchard's ray gun. Now, where's that detectoscope?
Well, Blanchard had it in his left hand. It probably clenched in his fist.
I'll get it. It's too late.
Nothing but fine powder.
Polidor set off a disintegrator impulse when he saw his boy was in a jam. Hap, I'll answer the intercom. You check in the real janitor. I think he's starting to come around. We'll take Blanchard to headquarters.
By the time Blanchard is brought into Commander Corey's office at headquarters, he has expressed himself as being willing to cooperate. He sits rubbing his bruised jaw as Buzz questions him.
Okay, Blanchard. Have you ever seen this Polidor?
No. I don't know of anybody who has.
Can you give me the names of any of Polidor's agents? You might as well tell me now, Blanchard. We can put you under the brainograph, you know.
All right, I'll tell you. I only know one of them, Pete Vorchek. I worked with him once.
Where's Vorchek now?
I don't know. He split up after a job at the express office.
Oh, the Zyklon theft.
Vorchek had his special orders. I had mine. But wait. But Vorchek and I got pretty chummy. He told me a couple of things I wasn't supposed to know about the cavern.
What cavern?
It's a place on Neptune, Sector 17K. Vorchek was supposed to go to the cavern with the Zyklon.
And meet Polidor there, maybe?
Yeah, I doubt it. Nobody ever meets Polidor, except probably one or two of the higher-ups.
This cavern on Neptune, how many men are there?
Probably just Vorchek now. Polidor doesn't like the boys to get together and compare notes. Unless
what?
Unless he's got somebody in the Cavern of Fear.
Cavern of Fear?
Well, maybe Vorchek is pulling my leg. The Cavern of Fear is supposed to be a place Polidor uses to throw a scare into wise guys that get out of line. Part of the cavern is cold and damp and pitch dark. The icy water drips from the walls. Polidor had these detector scopes hidden around, and hour after hour these horrible noises boom around in the cavern. Vorchek says he's seen some pretty brave guys go nearly out of their minds.
Vorchek is there. He'll be contacted by Polidor. Blanchard, can you tell me exactly where this cavern is?
If I could see a map of Neptune, I think I could. Vorchek mentioned a couple of landmarks.
If we weren't too close, Vorchek could see the ship and warn Polidor.
Well, Commander, if one man were to be dropped off a couple miles away in a spacesuit, he might find out quite a bit.
Yes, if you were discovered.
Well, I think I could do a little scouting without being caught, sir. Please, sir. And I could keep in contact with you in the ship on a secret frequency.
All right. But remember, you're volunteering as a scout and not as a one-man assault force. Turn Blanchard over to the guard. We'll blast off for Neptune.
In a remote, mountainous region of the planet Neptune, Pete Vorchek advances the heat regulator in a sealed-off section of a system of caverns. Then goes to a spaceophone transmitter and adjusts the controls.
Pete Vorchek at Neptune Station calling Polidor. Vorchek to Polidor.
Polidor here. I was about to call you, Vorchek.
I was beginning to think you'd forgotten about me. When do I get away from here?
I've had my hands full with Commander Corey. He captured one of my men, Blanchard.
Blanchard?
Yes, but there is no need to worry. Blanchard knows nothing that can lead Corey to me or to you. Isn't it right?
Yes, sir. Yes, of course.
Corey, however, is getting to be a problem. He discovered one of my detectoscopes. Had his hand on it for a few minutes before I was able to destroy it. We shall have to be more careful in hiding them after this. Oh, you will remain where you are until I eliminate Corey.
But Polidor...
It won't be very long. Let me tell you, Corey doesn't know it, but pride is.
Far to the east, the Terra 5 circles over the mountains of Neptune. Alone in the ship, Commander Corey sets the spaceophone receiver to a secret space patrol frequency. Anxiously, Buzz waits. And then...
That Happy calling Commander Corey aboard Terra 5.
Corey here. Go ahead, Hap.
Blanchard's tip was on the level, sir. I've located the entrance to Polidor's cavern.
Any sign of life?
Not yet. Except for the airlock in the cavern opening. It looks like any other mountain in this part of Neptune.
Don't take any chance of being seen.
I'm a good mile from the cavern, sir, hiding behind some rocks. But with these binoculars, the airlock looks only about 20 feet away.
Where you stand, how close could I land the ship without tipping off Vorchek if he's in the cavern?
Well, there's a ridge to the north about 2 miles from here. If you could set down behind that, you'd be okay.
All right, Hap, I'll join you. Give me your exact location.
As Happy crouches behind the rock, watching the cavern entrance, he's unaware of the tread of heavy space boots behind him. As Happy looks northward for a glimpse of the Terra 5, a man in a spacesuit steps up behind him with blast gun in hand.
Get your hands up, Cadet, and away from the spacephone control.
Where did you come from?
The cavern over there. You were watching the wrong entrance.
You're Vorchek, then.
That's right. You're waiting for Commander Corey.
Suppose you picked up our secret frequency.
Oh, no. Simpler than that. One of Polidor's men managed to plant a detectoscope in the Terra 5. Polidor heard the commander talking to you and tipped me off. Now get moving.
Now, look, the commander will be landing in a few minutes, and if you know what's good
I'll
for you...
take care of him later. Udo wants me to make you comfortable in the Cavern of Fear. Now start walking.
Entering the airlock, Happy is forced to walk for hundreds of yards through the winding passage of the cavern. Vorchek has opened the facepiece of Happy's spacesuit, and the cadet can smell the cold, dank air of the cavern. The rocky walls glisten with a greasy wetness in the beams of Vorchek's atomolight. Suddenly, Happy finds himself in total darkness and is aware that he is alone.
Hey, Vorchek, where are you? Vorchek, what happened to the light? Hey! Smoking rockets. A wild animal. And me in the dark without a gun. Coming closer.
Are you frightened, Cadet?
Polydor. Well, that's a relief.
A relief?
Well, sure. Now I know there's no wild animal in the cavern. That roar was just a sound effect, projected here the way your voice is, by your detectoscopes.
Quite logical. However, you can be quite sure, can you?
What do you mean?
I am far away on another planet, but you can be certain just what might be in this cavern. Listen. Some animal may be creeping closer, its claws scraping the rough rocks.
Sure. Let's hear some more of your sound effects, Polydor. Put on a show for me.
You are brave now, but wait a few hours. The darkness will have its effect on your reason. Your senses will play tricks on you. Your imagination will get out of control. And for the first time in your life, you will know pure terror.
Landing the Terra 5 and not finding Happy, Commander Corey has made his way to the cavern searching for the cadet. Cautiously, he makes his way through the winding passage with the aid of an atomolite. Occasionally, from the blackness ahead come strange sounds.
Oh, shut up. Happy, where are you? Commander, I see your light. I'm back here.
I'm coming, Hap. What's that?
Oh, just one of Polydor's tricks. He's trying to scare us with sound.
Corey, you're only a few yards from the cadet, and I am on another planet. But watch, you'll never reach him.
Commander, look out! The gate's closing!
Happy!
It's no use, Commander. The cadet is locked behind the gate, and Vorchek will see that you don't escape.
Look, Polydor, there'll be a squadron of Space Patrol ships here looking for us.
Let them come. Vorchek will be gone when the Zyklons are full. And, of course, I am here in voice only.
This whole section of Neptune is being watched right now. Your man Vorchek can't get through that patrol.
Thank you, Commander. He can't escape in his ship, but he can in yours.
Not unless I'm in it. The controls are locked, and only Happy and I can operate them.
Oh, well, I don't mind losing Vorchek and the Zyklon if I can do away with you and the cadet. Vorchek can risk being shot down by your patrol ship if he likes.
I'm right behind you with the blaster, Corey, so get him up.
Well, Vorchek, you've been getting an earful, huh?
Yes. You're going to get me out of here, Corey.
Vorchek, don't be a fool. It's a trick.
Maybe, Polydor. But I know where I stand with you now. Come on, Corey, let's go.
Just a minute. Open the gate and let the cadet out.
Let him stay in here. I can't watch both of you.
You mean you leave him here alone in this cavern?
Maybe Polydor will talk to him during his final hours. Come on, Corey, let's get out of here. You go first.
All right. That's the way you want it. Had enough? On your feet. Sure. Now open that gate, Vorchek.
Take it easy. I was only kidding. Here's the control back at this shelf of rock.
Commander!
You okay, Hap?
Oh, yeah. Oh, great. Hey, you've got Vorchek.
He's riding back with us. Too bad we can't include Polydor. Did he give you a rough time?
Oh, he sure did. I didn't mind the bats and the leopards, but one sound really had me scared. I figured I was really off my rocker.
What was it?
Well, it was so real I could almost feel it rubbing up against me, even through my spacesuit.
Rattlesnake?
No, it was... Hey, I thought I heard it again. Just now.
Look down at your feet.
It's smoking rockets. A kitten. And it's real.
Hap, don't tell me you're afraid of cats.
Oh, no, sir. Not when they're real. But these imaginary cats that aren't there, I can't stand the sight of them.
In just a moment, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure, which will be brought to you by Nestle's Quick, for the greatest tasting chocolate milk and those famous Nestle's chocolate bars. Who is the man from Mars? Who's in that weird, spooky totem head with a face in front and another in back? Fellas and girls, it can be you. Yes, you can have this sensational totem head with magic forehead vision. Imagine, when you wear your totem head, you can see out, but nobody can see in. That's right. Magic forehead vision works only for you. When you're in that totem head, you can fool your best friend. Even your mom won't know it's you. It's easy to get your totem head because you drink that super wonderful, extra delicious Nestle's Quick, don't you? Sure. You know Quick makes the best chocolate milk in the universe. Well, just send the lid from the can of Nestle's Quick or a tracing of the front of the label, together with your name and address and 25 cents to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. That address again, Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. You'll get your totem head soon, so you can be the man from Mars. Now a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are aboard the Terra 5, preparing to fight off an attacking robot ship.
Fire stern torpedo 1.
Fire 1.
Surely you don't think I'm aboard this robot ship, Commander?
In a few seconds, Polidor, there won't be any ship. Hey, Commander, the torpedo exploded short of the target.
The ship is protected by a force field. Our torpedoes explode when they hit the field.
That's right. You can't stop this robot ship.
It's gaining on us, sir.
If you don't act quickly, it'll ram us and blow us to bits.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, Race Against Time. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson. Executive producer, Mike Devlin. Other players were Norman Jolly, Ken Mayer, and Bela Kovac. George Barclay speaking. Don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday for exciting adventure on Space Patrol! Space Patrol was brought to you today by Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol story on your local ABC television station. Consult your newspaper for time and channel. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.